Welcome back to another video. It is September 15th, Monday, and I know y'all all just biting at the bit waiting for these videos. Hope y'all had a great weekend. I seem to be doing more on the weekends than I am during the week. Weekends are supposed to be for relaxing, partying, whatever. And I was nonstop. Saturday, I was supposed to go to my hunting lease. I left early in the morning. Then realized that I was supposed to meet some friends at a local ham fest in Slidell, and when they called me looking for me, I had to change directions halfway there, halfway head to the hunting lease, and then make a detour to Slidell, Louisiana for the ham fest, and then still went to the hunting camp. So I didn't get home till like 9 o'clock that night. Of course, I made some content for the ham channel and put that up. And then I also made content for my hunting channel, my Grumpy Dad Outdoors channel. And when I went to edit that, I realized that when I went to the hunting camp last month and I recorded content, I didn't upload that video. So yesterday I uploaded a video from last month. I'll give that one 2 or 3 days to percolate, and then I'll go ahead and upload my video from over the weekend. But walking through the woods in 90-degree temperatures makes me realize I am nowhere as young as I used to be. I didn't have a four-wheeler to bring. I didn't have a pickup truck. I had to use my wife's SUV. And walking through the woods made me realize I am not young, especially walking uphill out the woods. But anyway, you're here for crypto, and we got some crypto content, that's for sure. A lot of things going on, a lot of things we're going to cover. A couple of things I'm about to say I'm sorry about. If you caught my Thursday live, you caught some of it. One project that has had a huge increase in tokens. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it. We're going to discuss that one. I'm not ready to say I'm sorry yet. I'm not ready to even get back in that project. And that goes to show you how much I hate it. But, I saw a video earlier today from Andy today. And look, I know what some of y'all comments are about Andy. I don't have an issue with him. Look, there's been a lot of flack lately about, I know I'm starting my soapbox early in this video, about YouTubers and people with DPin and stuff like that. It's this gang mentality, as I call it. It just seems like when that's the popular thing is let's gang up on the YouTubers because we made some bad decisions. Look, everybody's an adult. I'm not scared to say that. Nobody's forcing you into anything. I come here on here and I tell y'all what I'm making in these videos, especially on these projects. I'm making 16 cents on some of them. You choose to get in them and you also make 15, 16 cents. Don't come on here saying DPin's crap. You knew about it before. Some have great potential. Some, like some people are talking about, are having issues. But you can't say, oh, the only thing, and this is, going back to, again, I know I'm talking about this again, but Tech Hustlers video, the one little issue I have with it, and what somebody brings up in Andy's video in the comments here is oh, DPin's just here to make money off of the products. You can't just you can't just have this broad brushing all this and saying that, because not that I'm a fan of it, but Natix and Silencio and Grass and Earnapp and, it's been a long day, but there are several projects, and even he goes over projects in here that don't cost anything. So you can't sit here and say that. Even like your first 2,000 stations on Wingbits. Wingbits are waiting to go TGE. We all have a lot of faith that Wingbits is going to be very well in the DPin market. If you were one of the first 2,000, if you might have had an SDR at home and maybe an antenna from old Helium device, you technically could have got online with that for free. So you can't sit there and just knock this. I had to come on here, and he does comment about Silencio. So I had to come on here and tell him that I don't agree with his Silencio take. But again, like this dude, DPin's nothing more than trick to sell you proprietary hardware. Tokens have no point. So you can't say that when half the projects he talks about are free, and half the projects I'm going to talk about is free. So I don't know where some of this mentality is coming from, but I wanted to hit on that just real quick. Look, before we go any further, make sure you please hit the like button. Take half a second from me real quick. Look down, hit that like button for me before we go any further. I know I'm supposed to say that at the beginning. Some of my likes have been, even though I'm still getting the views, I don't get as many likes as I did before. You know, I don't know if y'all just don't like my videos. Nobody's really telling me anything otherwise. I just think they forget because I don't ever remind them like some of these other YouTubers do. So we're going to get involved in this, get started. I'm trying not to make this an hour and a half video, but we're going to dig into some of these projects. They're making some big moves right now. Bitcoin for the day, you know, we're at 115,000 right now. We broke above this line, went back up. Now it seems we're going sideways, maybe even a little bit down. Let's check and see what the dominance is doing. Bitcoin dominance is headed back up. We don't want to see that if we want to have some type of alt season. If that's what everybody wants to use as the gauge, we kind of went up. This is the daily chart. And now, you know, when you zoom back out, this was the last alt season right here. And you're right. We did have some greens up in here. So, you know, we don't have to start hyperventilating just yet. But I keep saying, I think if we're going to have an alt season, it's going to be later. It's going to be October's, late October's, November, December. That's what I'm thinking. That's just me kind of going off what a whole bunch of different people. Now, listen, you go and watch some YouTubers right now, and those YouTubers will make you believe that the alt season is here, or knocking on your door, or it's coming in with pumpkin spice for Halloween. I don't know. You know, we need Ethereum. If you're going by the whole technicality of what the alt season and how it's supposed to be, those people who are saying this is just like every other cycle, even though I've been disagreeing with that since Trump got elected, that this is going to be a different cycle. But what do I know? That's why I'm still making videos, even though I've been in crypto for 10 years. But you don't want to see Ethereum going down when Bitcoin's going down. You know, technically Bitcoin's supposed to be going down when Ethereum's going up. The one thing I want to mention real quick before we go any further is I talked about on my video Saturday about the rate drops that are supposed to be coming, and the rates drop is basically being announced that it's happening. Listening to a stock person earlier today in the video that is pretty knowledgeable, he's saying the stock market, that this rate drop is already baked in. It's already cooked in, whatever term you want to use, and crypto is going to be the same thing. Now, am I saying that you're not going to see a little bump, a little bit of action, even a little bit longer term? Possibly. But I don't, again, now this is financial advice. This is just me speaking out loud. I don't see like this. You have people who thinking, oh, when this rate drop comes this week, it's going to be take off, get ready, strap on, we're going to Mars. I don't think so. I really don't think one unless we get way more of a drop than what we are thinking is going to happen. And you have some people thinking that might happen because we're hesitant. We've been too hesitant on rate drops. So we should have started this already. And you have some people who think it ain't going to happen because inflation's still a tad too high and we don't want to push anything. So we're going to have to pay attention to it. What I told people, hey, if you're up right now in some of these tokens, I would take a little bit of profit. I'm not way up in my tokens. I bought it at, we were talking about that in my Discord. Make sure you're in my Discord. But I told people, like, if you bought way down here and you're up here, I would sip a little bit of profit. That's just me. But not me. I bought up here and I'm right here right now. So I'm just accumulating. All right, let's get started on this. Number one, still hold on to number one. Had to go back and count. It does them justice. You know, they deserve it. But for the 10th week in a row, number one project that I'm in right now is Chirp. Now, remember, this is strictly discussing the Blackbird miner. I'm at a point right now that I know the Chirp KAGE app, that round ends in 2 days. I'm gonna sit and listen. Crypto's fluid. If you're gonna watch in this video how I'm gonna contradict things I just said last Monday, probably contradict things I just said Thursday on live, something I might have said on X just a few days ago. Crypto is all fluid, especially me. They don't call me the grumpy dad for nothing. I can get pissed off at something and tell as like an old man when I was a little kid. Old man used to, whenever he wanted me to get out the room, there's an old man that lived down the street from me. He would say, "Ball 4, take a walk." I didn't know what baseball was at 3 and 4 years old. I didn't know what the hell ball 4 meant. But anyway, you know, I might be telling one a project ball 4, take a walk last week, and then this week y'all might hear me say, "Oh, I'm giving it another chance." That you got to watch all these projects and these videos because there's going to be some changes. And right now I'm telling KAGE ball 4, take a walk, meaning until they can get a hold of this cheating, and I know y'all sick of hearing me beat this dead horse. You're not seeing me complain about it on Discord. I refuse to do it. Even their mods have questioned what these people are doing, and they don't want to do anything about it. I don't know if they're just checking to see if they are scanning different Macs, which is easily spoofable, but it's just common sense. And they keep, especially these other people in, I guess because they're doing it too, but you have other people who are running Chirp KAGE who are defending the possible cheaters, the suspected cheaters. How about that? Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But Chirp keeps saying we checked into it and they don't seem to be cheating. Listen, just use common sense. You only have so many cell phone sites, so many Wi-Fi sites. I don't care how dense of an area they're in. When this has been going on for 5 or 6 months now, and y'all have admitted, y'all know that once you scan a certain cell site X amount of times, you're not getting hardly any credit for it again until later, weeks down the road, whatever, it refreshes or something like that. But when you continuously are getting millions and millions and millions of points every day for 150 days straight, that's impossible. It's impossible. You can go right around New York or India or whatever you want, running taxi cab or whatever you're doing. And I'm telling you, running that same dense area every single, because you're not going to get the challenges. Oh, you need 150 new cell sites. If you've been riding around the city, you've gotten all the cell sites, so they shouldn't be new. So you're not getting 40,000 extra points for that. But if you're getting 960,000 points every couple of hours, you're not worried about those last 40,000 points. Do you all realize how drastic, like how crazy that is? The way I just put that. I'm struggling to get 40,000 points, and you got people getting 960,000 points in 6 hours. Because some of them are getting 2 million a day. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And there's a part of me that says I don't want to even discuss KAGE anymore on this channel. Don't want to discuss it. I am going to discuss it because I'm just curious what I'm going to make next when this drops. In 2 days, you're going to have a drop again of KAGE. So I am curious to see what happens to it. But my 365 I'm making a day is strictly from the Blackbird monitor, which are almost impossible for anybody who wants to get involved in that to get. And I question that also with this project. Again, I know I'm beating them dead horse, and I'm going to repeat all this again for all these other projects. You're supposed to be an IoT network that you're building around the world, but you're not releasing devices. They're very limited. And when they do release them, they release them as NFTs, which people buy right away just to turn around and scalp them. The NFT thing needs to stop. I know I said it before, but I'm going to say it every time, just in case somebody from Chirp accidentally stumbles into a hole into this video. A couple of different announcements we need to go over real quick about Chirp KAGE. Driving every day, turn into rewards, earn ROVR, which is Tarantula. Y'all know I'm also big on the ROVR project right now also. And you get an exclusive 20% off available in KAGE for your Tarantula X for $159.20 instead of $199. So, you know, instead of using Grumpy's code and getting a Tarantula X off of Helium deploy, it is cheaper to go this route if you can, depending on what the shipping is, where it ships from, anything like that. A sneak peek from CEO Tim on what's KAGE coming out with, Lex. When you watch the video, it looks like it's some kind of like beacon that when you're walking around, I don't know. 1 week to go until Wings of Kronos. I'm probably going to do a separate video on this when I can figure out what the hell it really is and what's going to go on with it. So I am going to probably do a video because I need some ideas on videos. And just to explain it, this is kicked off finally. They've been talking about this for months and months. And, you know, from what it looks like to me, I think this is like some kind of, if y'all familiar with the Pokemon app, when you're walking around, the Pokemon, you know, Chizarro or whatever the hell it is, Charizard or whatever, Pikachu jumps out from behind the bush and tries to, you know, mug you. All right, I cursed. I had to go back and edit that. when a Pikachu tries to come out and mug you or something like that. There, no cursing that time. Anyway, that's what I think this is gonna be. But you know, it has beacons, maps, and stuff like that on where these beacons are gonna be at. High concentration of beacons with chirp tokens. It tells you where, you know, it's going to be at. And there's a place where low. So in other words, if you're not in a major city, you're screwed. Imagine that. Apparently also there's some different talk on different platforms. Sometimes they're displaying various chirp supply figure. And they're just coming out for clarity, telling everybody this is exactly what the max supply is. 300 million, which is pretty good. Total supply is 79 million. That's out right now with circulating supply of 62 million. Chirp is capped at 300 million tokens. So if you go off of that, this is not financial advice or anything like that. With a 300 million token, this price should be way more than 5 cents. I know there's a lot of things that need to go into that, but when you look at, this is kind of what I say about also when people ask about what you guess on Wingbits tokens. Look at the token supply and compare that to some other projects that are popular, that are getting, you know, circulating, people buying, people selling, stuff like that. Are they available on CEXs? And you kind of compare roughly, you know, if you have something that has a 10 billion market cap, don't think it's going to be $2 because when you look at the market cap, it can't handle, sustain that. Same thing with this. Should be a little bit more than 5 cents. So I wanted to hit on that. How's the wing of the Krinos? Again, I'm gonna end up doing a video on this and discussing it a little bit more. I don't want to take up too much of this time. There is a KAGE store that's now live, so go buy some KAGE stuff. Store opens 2 days before the end of round 5. So I'm guessing round 5 must end Wednesday, at least Wednesday my time. Today's Monday. So I'm curious to see when Chirp KAGE ends, what's that going to be for me. So I just want to clarify this again. I am high on the Chirp IoT network. I think KAGE is a gimmick. I've yet to have anybody, even the cheerleaders, explain to me, Chirp, that's an IoT project. It's supposed to be Helium 2.0 and that kind of thing like that. What is Chirp KAGE solving by walking around and scanning and allowing cheaters to get millions of tokens, millions of points a day? It solves nothing towards that IoT project. So I question, it makes me question the whole project to a point. I'm still in it. It's still my #1 project. I'm still holding on to those tokens. Alt season, I'm hoping them tokens go way up. I have a lot of tokens. I've been in this project for a while, long time. So, you know, again, I keep trying to tell y'all, alts, there's going to be a cleansing of Grumpy's wallet at the end of this year. If alt season comes, I told you I'm not holding on to all these tokens. Might be holding on to all of them now, not selling them now. And I'm proud to say I haven't sold any tokens from any projects. End of the year, I'm probably not gonna be able to say that unless we don't have an alt season. And for Chirp's token price, it was 5 cents last week when we did this video. It's 5 cents still this week. No real big change on that. All right, moving on. #2, still #2 for several weeks in a row now, is going to be GEODNET. GEODNET is still giving about 12 geode per day. The token has gone up 17% since last week. It was at 15, a little over 15.5 cents last week. It's at 18.5 cents now. So we've had that positive price action, which I'm glad to see. It's moving in the right direction. Biggest news coming out of GEODNET is the migration, moving from Polygon over to the Solana wallet or Solana chain. And there's all kinds of migration instructions. I've had several people ask me for a video on how to get this done also. I don't know how difficult it is that people are asking me, but the fact that I've had a couple people in Discord reach out to me, and on X reach out to me about this, I will do a video about this also when I have more than 2 minutes to be able to sit there, read the instructions, try to do it myself, and then walk y'all through it. I don't know how easy of a step it is. I have my Geo tokens all on a Exodus wallet. I'm getting it from 2 different stations, and they both get combined into one Geo or one Exodus wallet. So I don't know if that's going to cause an issue, or the fact that it's on Exodus wallet to me is a very secure, still a hot wallet, but your keys, so it's my crypto, and my keys are my crypto. So I will be doing some type of video on that. GIP 10 community feedback request, exploring a new proposal. GIP 10 submitted by this person. That would add a station stability check to improve GeoDNet's data quality. Stations that move too much, sway in the wind, could have their rewards reduced until the issue is fixed. This would make sure GeoDNet stays a survey grade network, incentive hosts to use solid whatever installations. React and share your thoughts in the governance channel. I can see both sides of this. Apparently, I'm in the minority if I don't agree with this, because there's 108 people already since in 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours. Failed college math. Actually, 6 hours to the minutes. 8:44, 2:44 in there. I understand why if a station, let me tell you, if you got this tied to a branch, I can say it, but you can't tell me if this is on some pole and it's barely moving, it's making that much of a difference. Not only that, but it's might not be that easy to solve that, depending on if you're trying to use that pole to get elevation. I would like to know how much a little bit of sway is really drawing off the data quality. But it looks like it doesn't matter what I vote, because, it looks like it's 108 to 8. Tell you what, going to the GIP 10 channel, reading these comments, it's quite interesting. It seems like nobody can give any kind of idea on how, like I'm saying, is how bad is a how much of a drift is tolerable, not tolerable, and if it's barely moving like this, is that enough to throw it off? Now, I've seen some, and then not a GeoDNet station, but like a TV antenna that was on a long pole that had some sway into it, and I can understand that. But I'm curious to know, like, I know everything's a conspiracy theory, but reading some of these comments, they're quite interesting. So we'll have to see how this all turns out, because I'm curious. I got questions about it. You're already limiting people's stations that can't get exactly a 99% or 100% satellite thing, and even though I have less satellites to get in my area than some other people, and I have issues with that. Again, I'm not trying to make everything a conspiracy, but I'm just curious on, I just have questions about it, the true meaning behind it. But, if this is, if a little bit of sway is throwing this off by meters, I can 100% say I can understand it. If it's throwing off by centimeters, which is like this, come on, guys. All right, moving on. Onocoy. Onocoy has had no changes at all. The price has stayed exactly the same, getting about 31 Ono per day. So you're getting still about $1.28 per day. One big announcement from Onocoy. It says they have a new client. Congratulations to them. Why they joined Onocoy, and it gives all the reasons. Curious to know that myself too. Onocoy lets them expand globally without spending years plus huge cost building infrastructure. They expand to go into C, MEA, and LATAM, LATAM. Anybody? Up to 1,000 stations by the end of the year. It says check the opportunity map. When you click on this, you just get their regular layered map. Nothing's telling me about any place there's opportunity. So if somebody knows, here's the opportunity map. Yeah, look at that, guys. Guess you gotta zoom in some. So is this the opportunity map? This is where they need coverage at. the usual big areas. Let me guess: Houston, Texas, Dallas. Imagine that. Austin. Yeah, the usual areas. Either way, congratulations to them. As a DPIN project that we're in, that we spent money on, it is good to see clients onboarding. So hopefully some of that money can go into Onocoy, boost the token up a little bit. That's I hope that's how that's going to work. Moving on, next is going to be Entropy. So as you can see, there's been a little bit of movement in the ranking. Entropy moved back up a little bit, not really because they're doing anything special, it's because the other project moved down. Tokens are a little bit all over the place. If you have a whale token, a whale NFT with Entropy, you know, you have to have an NFT to be able to mine Entropy with the Ashlar. That whale will give you a 1.3 multiplier. So that's what I'm using when I figure this out, because majority of people are going to have a 1.3 whale multiplier. When you use that whale, you're getting about 19,289 tokens. With the current price has been up and down a little bit, but we're at about a 0.00064, and you're getting about $1.20. Now, I know this kind of goes against their own website. Their own website says the median average right now is about $1 a day. I'm guessing that is if you don't have, if you're using just the 1x ape NFT, but there's more whales out there than monkeys. There's way more whales being sold or out for sale. So I'm using the 1.3 because that's what I have on all my Ashlers is a 1.3. They're all making the exact same amount of tokens, which again, when you average it out for 7 days, it is 19,289 tokens. And no new announcements or anything from them. All right, moving on. Your next project is going to be Junk. Junk has gone down a little bit in rewards, your base rewards, but down in price. They also have some decent amount of fluctuation going on with their token. I'm not gonna lie to y'all at all. I'll be honest with y'all. I have no idea what's going on with this Rumble Royale thing. They have this arena. It seems to be getting a lot of action, a lot of participation. I don't know what the hell it is. Y'all can go find out on your own if y'all bored. Contest with brawl announcements. So hey, go check it out. I'm not familiar with it. I don't have time now for anything. So no real big announcements or anything like that. So as far as most of y'all know, I did last week, I did the boost. So like I said, for those who watched the video last week, I did a boost last week. I was in first place for like 2 or 3 days. It got old quick. Without rehashing too much again, I've told y'all the problem is like this game right here that's being played. Dilly Jassy is gonna have to constantly watch this to make sure that Rob Putt doesn't pass him up. But the problem is it would be just easy if Dilly Gassy would just go put an extra 2 million in there to make a gap. But the problem is he's not going to get that back. The only way to play this game is you need to keep the #1 rank, but only barely more than what this guy is. Does that make sense? And I did that for the first 2 or 3 days and stayed on top. And then after that, I got second place, and I'm like, screw this. I would like to experiment again. Part of me wants to just be done with this. It just let me just make my junk tokens and have a nice day. But part of me, just to prove to you also that it is completely worthless to be number 15 on this list, or 12 or 10, is I want to go next week on a Sunday and put 4 million tokens down and see what I get at the end of the week. What I'll tell y'all is, being #1 half the week and #2 half the week, and that's even finished #2, I quit looking at it after Thursday. Somebody from 3rd or 4th place could have passed me up at #2. I'm going to tell you, when you look at where I was beginning, I was at 16,882 before I did my boost. So I ended up with 19,000. So I might have made like an extra million or two than I would. I mean, I would have made over $1 million just if I didn't do anything. So that would put me around 17, 18. You know, like I said, so you look at it, and if let's just say I made 1.5 million extra than what I normally would have made. I made $7 extra by doing the boost. You know, when you look at what I paid for these NFTs, again, I'm not trying to knock the project. It's a cool deal. It burns a lot of tokens. I'll keep saying that positive because I like to see projects that burn. Now, you do need, if you watch my video Saturday, I discussed this also. You do need some people buying your token and putting liquidity in, and the demand for burning to mean anything. 6 transactions for $100 ain't gonna make it, but at the very least, I'll continue to say every week, when you sit here and you add all this up, you know, this is 21 million right here. This is another 34 million, another 40 something million. Then you can keep going 50, 60, you know, but 175 million, I don't know. That's all tokens that next Sunday will be burned. So this project is burning a lot of tokens. Ain't really helping the price none, because you need that volume, you need that demand. It's a perfect example of what I've tried to say that people argue with me about is it doesn't matter how many tokens you burn if you're not getting liquidity into it and people are not buying and put money into it and make a demand. So, you know, I've had several people who have reached out to me asking me about selling my NFTs because I have one that is 25%, and I will probably be doing that at some point. I don't know if you sell those on Magic Eden or anything like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna keep playing with this boost thing unless they change it that gives you more rewards and stuff. But really, I just don't think being number one and you getting an extra 1.5 to 2 million tokens is really worth it. That's me. Maybe I'm greedy. You know, if that's what you're getting for first place, 10th and 12th should probably not getting, you're probably losing tokens. And if y'all are boosting at 10 and 12 and 15 or even at 8, please let me know in the comments below and tell me, or you can reach out to me anonymously through DM if you want on Discord and tell me, or come into my Discord on the junk channel in my Discord and tell me about it. I am curious to know. All right, moving on. Number 6 is going to be ROVR. Again, I'll say this every week, but it's hard for me to tell you what you're going to make with ROVR because it is strictly a driving app and how much you drive and if you're driving through the same areas. This is just a guesstimate for an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, back and forth to work, getting stuck in some traffic, going to get lunch, going to get dinner, and that kind of stuff like that. If you're running ROVR for all that, token price has been steady. This is probably the project of all these projects we talk about, the most steadiest price action since I've gotten into it months and months ago. What, 4 months now, 3 months, 4 months now, been at the same kind of token price, maybe at a penny, which is still close. But when you average out how many tokens I'm making per day, close to what I think some of y'all would be doing on a normal drive, you're making about $1 a day. If you drive more, you got a 2-hour drive to work, 2-hour drive back, and you got to run errands and stuff, you probably make a little more. If you work 10 minutes away from the house and you go back home after, you're going to make 10 cents a day. Just rough guesstimate. I'm just saying. So this is strictly a project that you have to drive distances to make decent money. ROVR announcements, they did have an app update on September 11th, app update, and they go over all the different changes, bug fixes, and stuff like that that's going on. So another thing, data speaks for itself. And then they also said there's something big coming. ROVR's emptying a new chapter. Stay sharp. The road ahead is big. So I don't know what that is. If any of y'all know, let me know. Yeah, I am curious to know. But right now I'm still hot. You know, I'm still hot on this project. I still like it. It's just, maybe I just like the heads up display and I think it looks cool in the car. You know, there's a part of me, I just told y'all in 2 or 3 videos last week, the lives like that. I am kind of getting burnt out on setting up 4 freaking phones every time I drive. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet with that. Right now, I'm still running all of them because we're gonna talk about the other one shortly. One of them might be really surprised to y'all. Y'all might think I hit my head and have a concussion, but let's keep going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a deep breath and take a break a second real quick because I need to explain something to y'all. I don't have any lumps on my head. My wife didn't hit me over the head with a pot. I swear I'm not having a concussion. I swear I'm not having a heat stroke still from walking around the hunting lease the other day. When I show y'all who is the next project up, this is a project. This is kind of like, at least for the guys, maybe the women too, the girls too. When you're in high school or dating out of the high school, whatever, and you're trying to quit this girl or this guy, and you're trying to go back, but you're just confused, and you don't know if you should be going back, if you should be still with him, if you should be just leaving him the hell alone. You think it's trash, but yet you just, I don't know what I'm getting at. I'm trying to be funny and I'm not funny. If you watch my live on Thursdays, this is why you'll need to be catching my lives on Thursdays and occasionally Tuesdays, is because I mentioned this, and I apologize because y'all know I am the rare YouTuber that can come on here and tell y'all I was wrong. Forgive me. Or sometimes I just can't count. I tell you all the time I failed college math. That's why I'm in the job I'm in now. But really what this is, this project, the way it notifies you, your tokens are spread out for several days. So when I first did the calculations on this, I was only using the first day's notifications. But let's go ahead. Moving up from the Battle for Last Place section back into the main net, at least for now, is going to be, I can't even say it. Look at that per day note. Look at it. Now, again, I wasn't losing my mind when I saw this. It's just that this was the first notification. Then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I got this notification also. So now you go combine these. I've got like 4 more notifications. I got paid again. Then I got paid again. And by the time you add all that up and you divide it by 30 days, times the up in price that it's going up, I'm making almost $1 a day with Natix. And here I am, been pissed off and not running it every day. So trust me, when I went to the hunting camp in Slidell and the Ham Fest and everything on the weekend, I made sure I hit that nitro. And I'm back at it. Every time I'm getting in the car, I'm running Natix. Natix is up almost 16% in the last week from 0.0067 to 0.0077. It's still going up as we speak about it. So we are seeing some increase on it. Came down a little bit, came up a little bit. I still say when you read about it, all they seem to be worried about is the VX360. So I don't know. There's nothing that wows me with them. Again, I've told y'all when y'all getting into this that this was a free project. Yeah, you got to use another phone. So this is why I have 4 phones on my hood, 5 if you include Chirp KAGE. It's crazy, but at almost $1 a day, if that price keeps going up, it could turn out to be very well, or pretty good. So for those of y'all who want to get into Natix, I will have 4 links below us in the description. The stupid thing about Natix is, and I guess there's a way to satisfy all their crybabies in their Discord, was a while back they would not let referrals have unlimited links. You are allowed 4 links per week. But you get a bonus if you use those links, if you want to get into this. So I'm going to have 4 links on the bottom. If you try the first link and it's used, try the second one. If you try the second one that's used, you got to try the third one. Try the third one. Hope the 4th one's available. If not, come see me next Monday, and hopefully I'll get some new links. But it does give you a start out bonus for trying this out. So come back. And let's deal with some Natix and see what happens. I'm running this again, and we'll see what September does. If which will be actually October's rewards, but for September that we're in now, and we'll see. I kicked myself in the butt for not running this a lot over the last couple of days. I've been in a spare vehicle. I don't have all my phone holders, so I had to kind of choose which projects I was going to run. Now I'm running Natix, so at least enough to get the challenges every day since I'm running the boost. All right, moving on from that, we're going to my next conspiracy theory project, and I still say the evidence is piling up that I'm correct, but that will be DIMO. My conspiracy, I keep saying they make me a aluminum foil hat, or at least buy one or something. I still say I don't want to say artificially, they took some money, did something, and pumped this token up to draw people back in who did not want, people who did not sign up for the subscriptions. I think DIMO said, "Oh hell, we can't lose all these people. Let's draw rewards. Let's boost this token up so people can see what they're missing out on." You have people who admitted that lured them back in. People are not hiding it. Hey, I saw this token price go up. It was only a month by month subscription, I believe. So we're going to try it out. As Grumpy called it, that's not sustainable. You're down 4%, which really ain't nothing. I understand that. It was at 7 cents last week. When we did this video, it's at 6 cents now. For the month, it is still up a little bit. You were at 0.05 cents, but you're slowly going back down to that. You know, you were at 7 cents and 8 cents. You were even at like 11 and 12 cents, and you're slowly getting back. You know, I don't agree with the rug pull thing. I hate when people say this. It's a rug pull. It's a scam. This project's been around way too long for stupid stuff like that. I don't call it a rug pull. I just question some of the things with it. When they told us they would be selling our data, then they said, we never said that. It's up to you to sell your data. Like I'm supposed to sell that in the classified section or something. You know, I just question some of those things, but no real news in the announcements or anything like that since last week. They had a slight delay in giving out rewards this morning, but within a few minutes, it was all taken care of. So, all right. So moving on is going to be Honeygain pawns, Byte benefit, Earnapp. I really am thinking about taking. I know some of y'all wanted me to talk about Byte benefit, but it's down to like one device. I don't know what the deal is with that. It only works on Windows PCs. At least I can only get it to work on Windows PCs, and even on those, it quit working, and I'm not fighting with it. I have too many other things I got to keep up with. Honeygain pawns, Earnapp. Most of those all run on both a Windows machine and a Linux machine, meaning Ubuntu, Debian, your Wingbits DIY devices, your third-party software. I actually just took another withdrawal of Earnapp, built that back up again, nowhere as fast as it was before. And Honeygain and pawns, I'm running that on some other devices. They got Docker versions available and stuff like that. So I'm running them all, saving them up for hunting season when I need a hunting license for Missouri, which is going to cost me a couple $100, or food and stuff like that. I try to save those up for those hunting trips. I was supposed to go to Vegas next month. Not going to be able to afford it for a work conference for my side project or my side business, but for what they want for airfare, because the conference ends late on Saturday, and flying on Sunday is like $700 from Las Vegas back to New Orleans, and it ain't worth it. Then the hotel rooms down there, I don't know why this place is having this. Usually there's conferences in different towns and stuff. I don't know why they picked Vegas, especially when a lot of these people are way older than me. I don't know what they were thinking, but hey, this ain't the place for that. But anyway, the reason I bring all it up is because I told you I was planning on using pawns and Earnapp and Honeygain, those profits, build those up and then use those for those trips. So I won't be using them next month in October, but I'll definitely be using them going on my trips in Missouri for hunting in November, and also when I go to the mining conference in Texas, Mining Disrupt, in November. So between one of those, I'll be using it. My biggest thing with this right now is that I want to say it's pawns. I don't see hardly any referrals compared to Honeygain and Earnapp. Ladies and gentlemen, pawns is doing just as good as, well, let me say it, is doing better than Honeygain, now that Earnapp has come down a little bit, it's close to what it's doing. They're all supposed to be about 20 or 25 cents per gigabyte. But my point I'm trying to make is, it's like you might as well be running all three of these, or if you include Grass, but Grass won't run on a Docker with Debian and stuff like that. If you're running Honeygain and you're running Earnapp, you have to be running Pawns. If you're running Pawns and Honeygain, you need to be running Earnapp. Use my links below, please. It helps me out, but not only does it help me out, but it helps y'all out also, because you get a bonus to start off, kind of like with Natix. You get a bonus to start off with. So check those out. Again, doesn't cost anything to get in. They run in the background. It's truly, truly passive income. Easy to cash out. So check it out. Moving on is going to be WeatherXM. You know, I'm being told mixed things about this whip too, and I've read it 2 or 3 times. I'm not gonna say I don't understand it, but to me, it does. It appears to not what I was originally told is that it's going to kill original devices. I don't think "kills" the word, but I still think it's BS that you're getting a bonus if you're part of this rollout that's coming now versus the people that help build the station. Now, I'm being told by some other people, especially in my live, that I have this all wrong. This is going to help everybody out. Then why does it need a whip? Like, I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. There's no hiding it. You know, we'll see. We'll see what rewards look like in these new rolled out stations versus the stations that have been here and been the backbone to get this project to where it is now. But I know right now we're making 18 cents a day. That sucks. I see that, you know, they said, hey, whip 2 has passed with, you know, woohoo. Ta-da, yeah, great. Strengthen their targeted, but it's right. This proposal was designed to strengthen our targeted rollout strategy by boosting rewards, whatever, with this approval, station operators and partners involved in targeted rollouts would benefit, whatever. Change have been improved our community. See, right here, it says that by boosting rewards, but I had somebody argue with me that this was supposed to go to help deploy more stations and help offset that or something. That's not what this is. It says right here, boost rewards for targeted rollouts. So it's going to help those people who are putting stations out. We'll see. XM's having another issue again with Helium. Imagine that, where you know, with one of the third-party services. But it says right here for Helium stations. I wonder who the third-party station is. You know, and the best part is the people laughing. Moving on. Grass. What the hell is going on, Grass? You know, we've started in Epoch 11. That's going to end September 29th. There are no whispers at all of any kind of rewards. Look, it's rare that, look, I might complain a little bit. I might be grumpy about things, but it's very rare that I get truly pissed off at a project. And Grass is opening that door for me right now. I have a serious problem when a project wants to be legit and they make it seem like it's so hard to reward somebody more than once per year. But we're going on longer than a year than we have been rewarded for this project. And like, there's nothing in Discord. There's no announcements or anything like that. Listen, I know I've said this every time, but I'm going to say this again. We've already given out rewards once, so you have the reward mechanism down. It shouldn't take over a year. But what's going to happen is people are going to get this huge, gigantic bulk of rewards that are going to be worth a decent chunk of change because it's 12 months worth, without doing that common sense and realizing that, not because they're not doing that calculation, but why quit it? If it's just running on our devices, why quit it? That's kind of like the point you're at. You know, I'm running. I made it this far to Epoch 11. I'm hoping there's a finish line soon. I'm running all my stations. I'm staying on top of my stations. I'm making sure they stay online. Again, I'm putting this in lumped with what everything else in December. This token's at 74 cents. It was at $4 at one point. My hope is that when rewards hit, devices, these nodes, you don't hear nothing about these nodes no more that they were supposed to be deploying. There's nothing in the announcements about them. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't see why you need them because everybody's running free stations as it is. But hey, neither here or there. It just seems like grass is just getting more questionable. But I know I'm in the minority because nobody else is saying it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I can just truly see me right now. If this token goes back up, me taking a very good chunk of change. My thing is, with all these tokens I'm talking about taking out at the end of the year, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with them. Do you put them in just Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum? Put them in your bank so your wife can spend it on Amazon. I don't know. It ain't enough to go buy a boat or pay off a vehicle. Now with these projects, maybe one or two of the big projects after some time, but not none of these little projects I'm talking about. So yeah, see what y'all did now? Y'all got me in an argument with mods. I can't stand cheerleaders. Y'all know I cannot stand blind freaking cheerleaders. Y'all gonna make me curse on YouTube. Keep calm and wait is what they're telling me. I can't stand the whole we're concentrating on development rather than a set timeline. It's been a year. You've already rewarded once. So don't act like this. Like, I understand new projects, we have to test rewards. Wingbits, we want to test rewards. We're doing test now. We're doing stuff like that. Y'all did that already. Y'all did that a freaking year ago. And then the guy's going to say it hasn't been a year. It's not quite a year yet. Bullshit. At the end of Epoch 11, it's September 29th. Epoch 1 started October 14th. And it says actually the network launch was started right after October 15th or something. When I look at stage 1. My point is, if we go, which is a damn good chance we are, if we go to Epoch 12, we will definitely be over a year since rewards. Can somebody figure out when we got rewards for the first one? Was it October right before October 14th? Because I know I went hunting the fourth week of October into November, and I used $100 worth of my rewards, and I had received awards. We were all complaining about what the rewards were. I held mine, didn't stake them, didn't do anything, and then 2 to 3, 4 weeks later, it went up to over $1,000 worth. So it had to have been beginning to middle of October at the very least when we got rewards. And then they're going to tell me, keep calm and wait. Bullshit. And I'm sorry for cursing, but I'm pissed. Like, quit being a blind cheerleader and call them out. They have rewarded before. Y'all, this is how FUD starts. And I hate to be the one to start FUD because I can't stand FUD. But I guess this is my rant of my week. And like, I don't plan this. This just naturally happens. But this is how FUD starts. When you go back and read, and I'll probably get booted from this Discord at some point because other people get booted from Discord because they want the same thing. Are they having money issues? Like when you have already rewarded and did rewards and now you're not doing them, it ain't that hard to figure out rewards. Are you're not sitting there trying to develop this goofy plastic box with probably another ESP32 or a Pi in it that you're going to sell for too much. You can't tell me all your resources are going into that you cannot reward people. It's bullshit. And it's just old. Grass is in its early development, my friend. Dude, that's bullshit. This project was in closed alpha June 17, 2023. That's 2.5 years ago. Epoch 1 started January 2024 yesterday. I mean, that's 18 months ago. That's early development. The end of stage 1, which was last August 15th, in the network launch was over a year ago. That is early development. Let me tell you something. I'm about to get booted from YouTube. I'm about to go make a drink and cut this video very short. Because you see this dude right here? He's about to get the full wrath of a grumpy old man. dude, don't talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. If you've been here a while, you know grass will use it at the stage. No, no. Look, y'all gonna make me curse. I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying to keep with Jesus. He replies, here's what we've been working on. And I'm like, dude, please don't, because you're gonna make me get booted from their Discord. And I'm just saying, look, I'm trying to make a video and just trying to pass this information on. Dude, I don't listen, I understand y'all are making progress. I understand y'all making progress. But other DPIN projects that are rewarding daily, rewarding weekly, rewarding even monthly, they're making progress too while rewarding. Oh my God. Just think of that. They're able to make progress while rewarding. Is that a freaking mind-blowing concept? Like, but the fact that I'm the only one complaining about this, you can't tell me they got all these people that are involved in this project and I'm the only one saying it, or are people just numb to it by now? 475,000 people in this Discord. 475,000. You're telling me nobody else is saying anything? Like, did he just like, we're just gonna let our devices run? Yeah, like, he wants to know if I need the info. No, man. No, I know it's a mind-blowing concept, but several projects are able to continue their develop their projects and reward also. And I put on here that, but clearly, I'm the only person that sees to see an issue with it. You could submit. I can't, dude. Let me get off this. I gotta get off this before I get in trouble. You know, I really want to put this into the struggling section. I got rid of the battle for last place because it just try to keep it fresh. I had to rename it for something. Like, I'm trying to make this a section that like I don't know. These projects just, I don't know. See, like Helium. Some people would argue about the battle for last place or close to being dead because they got some news with them. You know, Silencio is playing the DIMO game right now, is only I can imagine. But Silencio has they captured the leprechaun and was able to put some money into liquidity or something because they're up 144%. And again, I have no evidence to put this out, so I'm saying this is as a disclaimer. This is just Grumpy being grumpy, but I think this is the demo game because of this kind of comment right here. People are stopping using the app. Silencio can say what they want. They can say what they want in the Discord, but I know several people in my Discord reached out a DM with me who have agreed that also they're sick of the Silencio game of the only way you're making any kind of decent rewards with this is if you watch the ads. I don't want to see King Henry getting poked in the butt by Spike. Or if you don't want to see these 2-minute ads because they were getting longer and longer, you have to pay for subscription. I'm not paying for subscription. I like DIMO more than I like Silencio, and I'm not paying for their subscription. There's no way. So I think this, unless you can tell me all of a sudden they're putting liquidity into this from their buyers or something of their data, please somebody tell me where the hell this came from. They've had 2 announcements where you can become a beta tester to help build the world's ears. Silencio is doing a cross-language beta tester or something like that. This is my negative comment. You know me. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I try not to be so negative, especially life's getting shorter. I try not to be so negative, but this is just like what I'm gonna say, like about Chirp and stuff like that. I'm glad to see Silencio is expanding. There you go. How about that? I'll rephrase a little bit. They're not just doing sound readings anymore for sound pollution. I don't know what this has to do with sound pollution, but hey, if it, you know, these people get 75,000 in-app tokens. So is 75,000 in-app tokens 75,000 Silencio, or is that 75,000 in-app coins that end up becoming 75,000 raffle tickets? But hey, again, Silencio needs some life support. They need some help. And if this is what it is that somehow got this token to go up 100-something%, I question it. But again, I'm not a crypto expert, so I don't know. I don't know what the hell this has to do with anything. AI learns to, so now we're AI, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know what that was supposed to be. Again, I'm trying not to be negative, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm split on this, and y'all can clearly tell that I'm split on this. Like, if you look, now they're the world's ears for AI and robotics. So have we just flipped the script on what Silencio is? Hey, it's on peak. Y'all know I'm on. Y'all know my peak token is up. So also the peak token is up, and y'all know I DCA every payday into peak. Really, because I got trapped because I bought so much when it was way up here. Now it's way down here. So now I have to keep buying to get my average price down, average cost down. So peak has gone up a pretty good amount because my crypto wallet for peak has gone up a pretty good amount. Down 4% today. Well, hell, I spoke too soon. It was up to almost 13 cents over the weekend and has now come back down a little bit to 11 cents. I don't know. We'll see what happens to Silencio. I can tell you right now, I don't know if this is going to be a whole new thing. So does this have anything to do with the app, or we're like pivot? This is kind of like SOARCHAIN. I'm going to talk about SOARCHAIN in a minute. SOARCHAIN at first, everything was their little device that plugged in the OB2 port. Now they don't even mention that anymore, and they're all about camera. Same with Natix. Natix don't talk anything about mapping anymore. They're talking about the VX360 device. So Silencio going down that route too. Hey, we're not worried about if y'all go do sound rigs anymore. We worried about teaching machines how to hear. You know, I've said over and over, you can only map certain areas so much. You can only scan venues so much. In my area where I'm at, there's no more venues to scan. They're all been scanned. There's no reward at all for going to be the second person to scan, which I've always complained against that whole model, because today that building could be empty and get a great sound reading. Tomorrow that building could be full and it could have a horrible, loud sound reading, but you're not going to get that because it doesn't pay me to even stop when I can keep doing a continuous scan somewhere else. I don't know what's going on with Silencio. It'd be very interesting to watch, to see what happens, to see, you know, is this going to be like DIMO, where, hey, we're going to get a week or two of some good price action and come back down to earth, or, you know, or what? Up 147%. But you look at for the month, how this was so even, this price has been down for so long, you know, going back to June. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not ready to bring this up yet, out of this struggling into here. I need at least another week of this. We'll see. Moving on. Helium. I did not realize how bad my Helium devices were doing. I'm not gonna lie. Because I had 15 of them, I kind of was just looking at what I was making, and I don't claim this every day. I claim this about every week or two because they suck so bad. Even with 15 stations, they suck. All my stations get about 15 to 20 witnesses. Somewhere in the city, they do a little bit better because they have more witnesses. You know, I've lost my station that was on top of my buddy's tower at 400 feet, which was witnessing every one of them stations in my area. But either way, it looks like I'm making anywhere between 0.02 H&T to maybe 0.08 H&T on my really, really good station. So I'm averaging about 0.05 H&T a day, which is 10 cents. 10 cents. The project that I ROI'd $5,000 in 17 days with one station, $5,000 in 17 days, is now paying me 10 cents a day. Now with Helium, they were all so proud. And I discussed this on my video today, and I thought I was gonna look like an ass. But they talking about how they paid off or did a over OTC with some big whale who was constantly selling his Helium in on Coinbase and keeping the price low. Well, guess what? We can't use that excuse no more because y'all did that, and y'all went up a tad, and here we are again. So now, look, I'm happy to being proactive. Let me listen. I'm sorry, guys. Grass has me in a horrible mood at this point. I can't wait to get a drink, play some Call of Duty, and blow something up. But there needs to be something else. Am I missing something here? You know, I don't know. You know, you did have this. You know, you went from 234 up to about 280, 282. That was on September 11th, late last week. Came down, came back up to 282. Now you're down to 260. I don't know. I don't know what you know. You got 37% lower in volume. Really? Nearly 1.8 cell phones are connected to the Helium network today. And what? I look like an idiot because I was saying 3 or 4 months ago how this was going to blow up because you had 40,000 subscriptions in Mexico that went over to the Helium network, and this was inevitable to blow up. And look where we at today. It's clear to say that whatever we're doing with wireless, all our money must be going to T-Mobile because you don't hear nobody talking about setting up Helium devices anymore. Why are we still doing this if all we're connecting? Look, and I might be wrong, and y'all can tell me I'm wrong, but from what I understand, the whole CBRS thing is done. So basically, all Helium has now is Wi-Fi offloading. That's not going to work for cell phone coverage. Is it time to say we need to pull the plug on it? I'm sure many of y'all are going to say no, that I'm an idiot, but I don't know. Is there something wrong with the Helium network on the IoT side? That's why DIMO can't connect. I'm not DIMO, WeatherXM. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with Helium. Like I want to replace my station, but I'm not spending $100 on it on eBay or even $80 on eBay. It's not the pie, and it's not even worth it. You know, if somebody's got one that they want to send me cheap, I'll and just because they're sitting in their closet right now, not doing anything, and they can, you know, move it over on their wallet, I'll give you a few bucks for it because I'm looking for one. But, you know, I had somebody contact me about, you know, they had one new in a box for like 75, 80 bucks. And like that's what they're going for the eBay. I'm like, you smoking crack. It's not, okay. I was making sure my college math was right. On an $80 device right now, it would take me 800 days, 2.2 years to ROI on that. I know you paid for it, but right now it's sitting in your closet. You get a couple bucks for it, or let it continue sitting in the closet. Anyway. SOARCHAIN. Unfortunately, SOARCHAIN has not had the resurgence in price like some of these other projects have. You know, we're still slipping. We're still slipping on banana peels around here. We were at 0.0013 cents last week. We're at 0.0012 cents this week, down 6%. Hey, it's not the end of the world, but this is, and this is. Like I was saying earlier about SOARCHAIN, is that you don't get nothing for driving. So the little devices, those are out the window. You know, you're making literally 3 cents on 2.5 hour drive. I made a little over 20 tokens. You're making 3 to 5 cents, maybe 6 cents. Staking is where a good chunk of this is, but even that, because the token price is so low. Now, they're supposed to be paying now for video, and I've been running that, but I can't tell what the hell the rewards are because they all blend in the same from the beginning. So I don't know if I'm rewarded a daily on the video screen or monthly. weekly or yearly like grass. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I don't know what the hell's going on with SOARCHAIN. As far as SOARCHAIN, look, I've had a couple people ask me about Aster. I don't know anything about Aster. Am I setting up? No. Whatever Aster is, I'm not setting it up. At this point, I don't know if these guys are just throwing, darts at the dartboard and seeing what sticks. Do I hope that they have, people who are lined up to do this dash cam thing and buy the data, of course, but kind of like weather and everything else, do we need a fourth or fifth device on your dashboard getting live AI data off the streets? So again, I don't know if this is just me talking. I don't know if this was them just saying, hey, everybody else is doing it, so maybe we need to get in the game too. Or, hey, we have somebody that's actually interested in this and we can sell the data. I'm hoping it's the second one. I have very little faith in it. But then also with this Aster node, people ask me about setting it up, doing it, I'm not messing with it. I'm putting extra effort into this already for their dash cam. That's the most they're getting from me as far as SOARCHAIN. At what their prices is, what's going on, it's not worth it. I can tell you whatever this is, can guarantee it's not gonna be worth it. Now, financial advice, I've been wrong before, hence like with Natix, but I don't, just because of what the token price is, I can't see this, whatever this reward is going to be for setting up an Aster. Y'all tell me, if y'all set this up already, tell me what y'all getting rewarded at and tell me what's going on with them. All right, trying to move on. ERWIN, Jesus. Nothing in Discord other than people with jokes, that's great. Just great. Yeah, I don't even want to try to even pull anymore because I'm still waiting on my tokens from June. I got the same amount of tokens on ERWIN. And my last activity was June 9th. And y'all saw me on video in July and in August attempt to do pulls. It said it failed. But then when I go back to ERWIN dashboard, it says my dashboard's at 0. So where the hell are my tokens? I've contacted the admins who swore they were looking into it, then said they don't know what's going on. I have it on video. This project just sucks right now. Price continues to drop, and they have they've had 3 transactions for $1 in volume. All right, moving on. We got Wingbits. There's a huge announcement that came up in Wingbits this morning, and y'all need to go look at it. It would take me another 30 minutes to go through it. It's some big announcements. I showed it also in my Discord. That's why y'all need to be in my Discord also for all these projects. But they are basically sharing that beta rewards, retroactive rewards distribution at mainnet, that 5% of your total beta rewards will be unlocked immediately at mainnet, which means I should have like 5,000 unlocked. Plus, for me and for people who bought hexes, that was early last year, we were buying hexes. If you wanted to cover those hexes, that would also be available coming back to you in tokens, or refunds or something. I don't know what they're doing with that. They were talking about a couple of different things. But you'll get 5% of your total beta rewards plus 20% on that amount, because that's one thing. I made a video and I discussed this the other day. Even though we're not at TGE yet, we were supposed to be going TGE 2-3 weeks ago. At least that was a guesstimate that they were aiming for. Didn't happen, clearly. But the longer that they do wait for TGE, you are getting 20% on all your stations, 20% on your rewards. So the remaining will be 95% distributed over daily over 12 months. This gradual release helps protect the token by preventing market flooding, which is a good thing. So we don't have to worry about everybody going dump tokens. Now, one thing that I don't know about, but I'm assuming is that, like me, I have 1 million tokens. Been in this project, I keep telling y'all, I was probably the number 4 or 5 station in the United States at the time. Been at least 2 years, 2.5 years. But anyway, but one thing I'm guesstimating, trying to figure out is, I have 4 or 5 hosted devices. They're getting a percentage. But when you look at my total rewards, which is over 1 million, I don't think their percentage is taking that. I know actually some of them watch my videos, so I'm sure one of them will PM me. I try not to PM them way too much. But I am curious to know if that total rewards is not included. If it is included, their rewards, then I'm even happier than I was before. But I made some host percentage deals that a lot of y'all don't agree with. But I looked at it as I needed stations. I was just killing myself down here. I'm even thinking about taking one of my current stations down, DIYs, and sending it up north to Canada. For those who watch my live, we have an ongoing joke about Chugwater, Wyoming. I finally have made contact with Chugwater, Wyoming, waiting to see how that goes, about sticking something right in that central part of the United States. So I would have basically a big swath of coverage from northwest United States all the way down to the south and covering the Gulf. We'll see if that works out or not. But you can go ahead and read all this. I'm not going to go through all of it. There is also a new 7-day claim grace period that will be starting at some point. Some of y'all have asked me what my thoughts are on this. Let me think a little bit more. Listen, grass has me in a pissy mood, and I don't want to take it out on Wingbits. This is supposed to be a security buffer that for people they think might be cheating or something like that. Somebody else was trying to explain to me. Maybe during the AMA they can try to expand on this a little bit on why this came. But basically it was that if they catch somebody cheating, if they give the rewards right away at the end of the day, then there's no way of really getting those back if that person cashes those tokens out. They're trying to say that this is like other projects. I don't know of any other projects really taking 7 days. Maybe Chirp, and we don't like that. Chirp's way longer, but I want my Chirp now so I can stake my Chirp. GeoDNet doesn't do this. I'm not saying I disagree with it. Does it really have to be 7 days? Look, I have enough wings coming to me that I'm not being greedy. I'm just trying to look at this as whole for a project. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I kind of want to take a deep breath and read about it a little bit more, discuss it with some people. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I always try to look at things negative because it's just a disease I have. I'm trying to, I won't say the word excuse because that sounds so negative, like I'm bashing them. Look, y'all know I am 100% on board with Wingbits. I have the most faith of every project I'm in. I have the most faith in them. But everything they're doing right now is to ensure long-term success. Hey, if that's it. I really do truly believe they have our best interests at heart. I've told you that in video. I don't know. Let me keep on going, guys. It's not fair if I'm gonna sit there. 375 AI. Looking through the Discord, they got nothing. Back in the end of July, they did a X saying they were right around the corner, 95% complete of going to TGE mainnet. They had a successful deployment of their big station in Los Angeles. I'm still running it every day. I have a whole bunch of testnet tokens, but there's no announcements, no news, no announcements, no nothing. So I don't know what's going on with them. Combinder, no news. They are chit-chatting away in Telegram, but I'm not going through all those messages. Look, call me lazy, but I just Telegram just annoys me. It just annoys me. But is it that hard to run the Discord, guys? Like, it's not that hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. If y'all want to be serious in the crypto game, it's time to get on Discord. But I can say the same thing about the next project also. You know, people complaining about you can only use Shelly, and in some areas that they want to run COMBINDER, they don't have a Shelly plug. This guy right here says he's in Taiwan, can't run it. Somebody's asking about participating in the next season of Peak. Anybody? No announcements at all on the announcements page. Come on, Commander. I'm counting on you to lift Peak up. BrushO. This is our ongoing. I hate to say the word joke because I don't want y'all to think joke is taken on serious, but we all, you know, in my live, we all smile so we can see our teeth and how bright and shiny they are using BrushO. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I say every week. It does a good job brushing your teeth. And I told everybody when I did the video on this, and when I was telling people about getting in the project, if you happen to need an electric toothbrush or you want to venture into the electric toothbrush world, try out a BrushO. They're comparatively cost to other electric toothbrushes. There are some cheaper electric toothbrushes. Please don't argue with me on it. I understand there are some electric toothbrushes for $30 and $40 on Amazon. This is $140, $50. There are some electric toothbrushes on that are out there for Philips or Oral-B. One of them's got them for like $200 something. So they are. That's why I say they're in the middle price. Hey, if you want to buy one, Helium Deploy, use my code, please. I don't make that much because they're only like $100 something bucks. I make a couple of bucks, maybe a couple of bucks, $1 something, maybe, if that. So hey, help out the channel a little bit if you're interested in it. I don't have any kind of other referral code to get into the project itself. They're still paying out oral tokens, you know, and if you brush your teeth twice a day, you get 2 batches of oral tokens for brushing your teeth twice a day. Don't know what the oral token after testnet will go into mainnet brush tokens. We have no idea what that's going to be worth. No real talk about that. As far as I know, they don't have a Discord or anything either. So I don't know where we're going to get announcements from unless they made one within the last week or two and I'm not aware of it. So, or I'm in it and I just don't remember. Another project that I should probably be putting down here that I'm planning on getting into. I keep saying I'm getting it next week, but there's always something new that comes up in life. But I want a Nubila device. Y'all know I'm into weather. I'm a weather geek. I have little faith left from WeatherXM, and I really want a comparative weather station. And to me, Nubila is the best competition to WeatherXM. And if WeatherXM keeps their shenanigans up, I can see Nubila passing it up. The only thing I don't know about is WeatherXM has solar, has batteries in it, and can last. And I haven't had a problem with that. I'm getting mixed things about Nubila. I see there's a big solar panel that people are adding to it. Is that because it can't run by itself? If you want to permanently install it somewhere, do I have to put a solar panel, or am I going to be responsible for charging this thing every so often? That's one of the questions I have. So if you'll have that, let me know. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long day. Again, it takes me over 2 hours just to record this, and now I gotta go edit it, which will probably take another 2. I will be here till 1 in the morning editing this, and that's why this is the month. Somebody asked me that. Why is it the Monday video that always comes out on Tuesday? Because it takes me 4 hours on Monday, so that y'all know that the information that we discuss on here was recorded on Monday. The prices and news is from Monday, but for YouTube and to get it pushed out to y'all, it's better to release it at 8 to 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning because it gets pushed better so everybody can see it. And that's kind of why. But either way, I won't be done editing this my time until Tuesday at 12:31 a.m. By the time it buffers and gets uploaded to YouTube, then YouTube has to process it from SD to HD. That takes 30 to 40 minutes right there. So, I'm sorry this video is so long. I keep telling myself I can't make an hour and a half videos for y'all that much anymore. I try not to. I'm sorry. I will have chapters in it. But hey, if you watch this entire video, leave me a comment. tell me that, hey, I watched the entire video. I'm a trooper. I want to know. I want to know who's out there. I did that in my last video and somebody said it. I'm curious to know who watched this, and don't lie to me. Don't cheat, because I can see how many hours and I can see if people watched it through. I want to know, did you watch this video all the way through? Some people say, hey, I got an hour and a half ride to work and I watched it on my way to work. I appreciate it. I hope you're not sitting on the toilet for an hour and a half watching this video, because you're going to have problems when you get up. But hey, I appreciate it. We'll be doing some more videos, even though I've already forgot half the ones I wanted to do videos on. But we got a lot of stuff coming up. Keeping an eye on Silencio. I'm curious to see what happens with that token. Natix also, I'm curious to see what's going on with that, if my numbers are wrong or right. You know, we'll see what's happening with all these projects. Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Thank you for the support as usual. Please make sure you hit the like button on this, and see y'all in the next video.